now broadcasting from New Belgium Brewing in the heart of Old Town Fort Collins, Colorado. It's Live at Lunch here on KRFC 88.9 FM, streaming live on krfcfm.org. Today's special Live at Lunch is brought to you by the generous support of New Belgium Brewing, the Bohemian Foundation, Rock Fan Audiovisual, and the Pickle Barrel. I'm your host today, David V., and today's musical guests are Carrie Morin with Nick Clark, Nate Riley, and Celeste Diorio.
Well,
give it up.
Welcome. It's so nice to see you all. I'm going to pretend that we just walked in. Hey! So, I just released a new single. I don't know when this show is going to air, so the whole album might be out by the time this show airs, but the album is called Innocent Allies, and it's a collection of songs, 14 songs, that are all inspired by the works of the famous Western artist Charles M. Russell. I grew up in Great Falls, Montana. I moved here in '82, so I've lived in Fort Collins longer than I have in my hometown at this point in my life. But when I was a child, Charlie Russell, even though he died 1930-something, 27, he was still wildly popular in Great Falls and the entire state of Montana. And of course he's world-renowned, but I don't think anybody has ever written an entire album of songs about his paintings. So this first tune was actually the first song that I wrote. I was up at on the Colorado River, and we had Celeste and I have been talking about recording this album, but I hadn't really lifted a finger, pencil, or anything at that point. I finally, when we were up on the Colorado River for a couple of days camping, I had a handful of Charlie Russell books, and I found this really cool perch up on a bluff overlooking Colorado, and I started writing the songs for this album. And I was pretending that I was sitting over the Yellowstone River, or maybe the Missouri River. But this is the first tune from the album. It's called Big Sky Sun Goes Down.
Silence as the palace signals the calm. Nothing can stop the cold approach of the evening coming on. Down deep in the distance lingers a figure as cold as the stone. Thus is a song to me. This land is talking to me. I cannot falter now. Sounds become familiar, yet they fade from memory. Nothing is ordinary when the big sky sun goes down. When the spectrum of the light of the skyline and a distant memory beneath us is a song to me. This land is talking to me. I cannot falter now. Up on the Missouri, Square Butte inspires me. My home and the higher power in my mind's eye I can see. Like a prayer from the Sundance, this day will last forever. Beneath us is a song to me. This land is talking to me. I cannot falter now. Beneath us is a song to me. This land is talking to me. I cannot falter now.
So Charlie was not always a famous painter when he was painting in Montana. It took him actually a long time to catch on. It was sometime around the time they had the World's Fair in Chicago, the first one. And he went, and that's when he started to see the work of other painters from around the country. Remington was one of the guys that was always talked about, and then Charlie was the other guy. And then at some point, since Charlie's paintings were done from a guy who actually lived in Montana and painted in Montana, the more that the facts about his life got around, that he was actually a cowpoke sort of guy, his paintings really started to catch on. And so my mother was from a place called Lodgegrass, Montana, which is about 6 hours up I-25 here. Her father was the first superintendent of any Indian reservation in the country. His name was Robert Yellowtail. And my days growing up in Montana as a little guy, we spent an awful lot of time at his house on the Little Bighorn River, riding horses and playing basketball in the hayloft of his ginormous barn. And one time, I remember as a child, I walked into the house, and the house smelled kind of curious. And that part of the country is already aromatic. Something about the dirt, the soil around the Little Bighorn River, the Little Bighorn River itself, the cottonwood trees, all kind of melded together to create this smell that you would not smell anywhere else. And we all have something, an aroma that we remember. It's one of our most intense memories. Maybe you don't smell it all the time, but something, when you smell something similar to it, wow. So this day when I walked into the house, there had apparently a skunk taken up under the house. And my grandfather was currently in the process of trying to smoke the skunk out from underneath the house with a burning bucket of cedar. Now, okay, so add that to all the other interesting smells, right? So that is one of my fondest memories of my grandfather's house. So now whenever I drive down the road and there's a dead skunk on the side of the road, I think of my grandfather. But this painting hung on the south wall of his house that he built. And it's a painting that I remember always being there since beginning of my memories. And the painting is called Indian Hunter's Return, and it depicts Indian hunters coming into a native camp of teepees in the evening in the fall. So there's a little bit of snow on the ground. Since it's the evening, the skies are kind of red and purple. And one of the hunters is off his horse, and he's standing in front of an elder woman speaking to her. Now, Charlie had a knack for painting scenes just before something happens. So you can imagine what must have happened before this image and what might happen after it. You can see in a lot of his action paintings, something's about to happen, and it's not good. And in this particular scene, as he's talking to this elder woman, to me, being from around that area, she's the first one to get any of the elk that these guys came home with. So now when I'm writing this song, I have to try to imagine what happened on the hunt and what happened afterwards. So this is our take on Indian Hunter's Return.
Welcome us home from a long cold ride. Days are short, the snow stays on the ground. With gratitude I hear the sound. 3 sleeps ago I heard a prayer, but he'll never see his home again. He sang his song, sang his standing tall. His name side. My father's heartbeat of the land. The children run to the waning light. I'm home and he watched over me. He helped me to make it right. songman on a hilltop all alone. Far away, we could hear his song. I could tell he lost his only son. He'll stay here to the bitter end. Keep going till the ride is done, 'cause we got help for everyone. Don't want no trouble on my way home. One more day in the gray and cold. My father's heartbeat of the land. The children run through the waning light. I'm home and he watched over me. He helped me to make it right. Come on, Nick.
Kerry Morin here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Of course, that was Big Sky, Sun Goes Down was the first track he played. That was just released October 27th. And Indian Hunter's Return, which will be released December 1st.
Correct.
And you're staggering these releases, because like later on, Montana Sky will come out January 23rd, and then within a few days, of course, the whole album of Innocent Allies.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you what the significance of Innocent Allies is. That's an interesting title.
It's the name of a painting.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of the songs are named after paintings, and the songs are written after the scenes.
What's the scene in that particular painting?
What's an innocent ally?
What's an innocent ally? Well, a lot of the paintings that Charlie painted used a similar backdrop. Although he was very familiar with the Missouri River corridor from Fort Benton, say, up to Cascade. Some of the paintings used a similar scene in the background, whatever was going on in the foreground. In this particular one, there's a group of horses hanging out on a hilltop, on a bluff, over the river. And if you look down towards the river, there's a couple of guys robbing a stagecoach.
Oh.
So the idea being that the horses have nothing to do with this. They're just along for the ride.
And they're innocent.
Yeah.
They're innocent.
Great. Excellent title. All right. Well, it's a heck of a project. I mean, I can't think of too many people around here who have done an entire album just by the paintings of a famous Western painter. And, I don't know. These other guys haven't been either. So
Nick did one.
Yeah, we'll get to Nick. We're going to get him. Well, thanks so much for explaining the album, introducing it. And those songs are beautiful, and we can't wait to get the whole album. And we'll be playing it, of course, on KRFC, as we're already playing the new single.
Awesome.
I'm going to step over here just a little bit to Nate. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. You don't have a lot of bio online, Nate. I know you're from South Dakota.
Yeah,
I know you
right.
grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
And from the short bio, it didn't look like it was a pleasant experience for you.
On the farm?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I always say we were not farmers by tradition, so there was a lot of mistakes there, a lot of hard work to fix what kind of messes we put ourselves in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd your dad raise?
What's that?
Crops or livestock?
Well, yeah, it was mostly like livestock. We had a lot of chickens, goats, mostly horses, really. We had a lot of horses. Yeah, my mom just had a thing for animals, and we loved my mom, so we would let her have her way with it. And
getting up early and feeding those animals when you're a kid, I know it's probably not a lot of fun. I grew up on a farm myself, so I can relate.
Yeah.
What got you into music?
Well, I think what got me into music was just it was a good outlet for me when I was trying to find some peace from the home dynamic there. I would go and sit in my room with my radio and just listen to music.
What did you pick up on the radio in South Dakota?
Oh, it was a lot of country tunes, but I think, you know, I remember getting into Led Zeppelin and CCR and all that pretty young, and Pink Floyd. That was
good influences.
Yeah, definitely. And I started in like a heavy metal band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's kind of where the journey took me. In my youth, I was doing some heavier stuff back then. Angry Farm Kids, I suppose.
So I hate to box you in a genre, but you're more folk, Americana-ish these days?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I like to think so. Yeah.
And what brought you to that?
You know, a lot of it just kind of came naturally. I don't think it was sustainable to wreck your equipment and your body every single night, you know. So
and your ears.
And your ears. So that was the first one, and also, you know, growing up, like my grandfather and my great grandparents were always trying to show me music, and Townes Van Zandt being one of them. Yeah, he's a good one, and you know, at the time I thought I'll get to this later, and I kept shelving it, and then one of them ended up passing away, and you know, I started diving into the things that he liked, and it just changed the whole thing for me. And I think initially I started the journey as sort of an honor to my respect and love towards that person, my grandfather, and then it just felt really good. The songs came pretty naturally, and
found your niche.
Yeah, definitely.
What two songs are you going to play for us?
This first song is called Sunday, and it's just about you know, it's about trying to keep up with time. I think I'm always feeling like I'm running out of time, and before I know it, it's Sunday evening. I'm getting ready to start the next work week, and you know.
Plus, we just lost an hour, so there you go.
Yeah, right. There you go. I feel that. But yeah, this song is called Sunday.
Time moved fast and so did we. The clock said it's Sunday evening, 4:03. I reached back in the car seat, behind the dirty floor mats, a note I've kept for me. I know it meant something, oh, my eyes roll and I can't even read. Mama, I'm hell to see. Oh, I tried so hard, I couldn't let it be. Mama killed a ghost for me. If what you said is true, then it's my mistake. So let it wear my shoes and take my place. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. So it comes come, so it goes. The sun shines, there's nobody to show. And I'll be howling on at the moon, shaking bones to make something like a tune. Said I'm on my way. Look at all the colors change. How I'd really like to stay. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Mama, I'm hell to see. Oh, I tried so hard, I should have let it be. Mama killed the ghost for me. If what you said is true, then it's my mistake. So let it wear my shoes and take my place.
Thank you.
We didn't sound check this one, sorry. I can hear it.
Well, yeah. I just put out a record this summer. It's my first record that I ever put out. Kind of going back to not much being out there on the internet, I suppose. I'm still a new kid on the block, and probably will be for a while. But yeah, I put out a record. It's called Bird Songs, and I made it over the course of the pandemic and sat on it for a while and went kind of crazy after making it. So decided to backpack for a whole summer, which was pretty nice. But this is a song off that record. It's called 100 Miles. And it sort of has a story behind it. I was playing a show in Denver right before I started that record, and a gentleman from Westward got a hold of me and asked if I'd be interested in doing an interview. And I said, sure. And then we're on the phone, and he said, yeah, you remind me kind of this more polite version of Llewyn Davis from the movie Inside Llewyn Davis. And I thought, okay, I haven't seen that movie, and I mentioned that to him. So after the interview, I was excited to check out this movie and see this comparison. And I don't know how many of you have seen the movie, but it's quite depressing. It's a sad movie for a songwriter. And so I sort of jokingly twisted a Peter, Paul, and Mary tune out of that movie, and wrote it sort of in honor to that whole conversation and had some fun with it. It's called 100 Miles.
100 miles, 100 miles. Yes, I'm far away from home. It's always been as such. I don't mind if you know where this goes. Fairly well, fairly well. Work out whistle blows. It's time to cut my hair and be headed on down the road. Oh, 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 oh. Take it back, sing again, Somehow we all used to laugh. And though the things, they were so bad, the TV repeats it all so slow. And my eyes turn to sand, my legs, they can still stand. And I will turn this water red from love that I had to give. Oh, 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 oh. That was all just a dream. Down the pipe, laid on the seams, I'll shut it tight, I cannot see where this world went on to be. So fare thee well, my time's through on the carousel. And though all time to me is strange to be, our bodies never tell. Oh, oh, Thank you very much.
Nate Riley here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
We'll get over to Nick Clark. How are you today?
I'm good, buddy.
I know. You're always on stage, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you've been on stage for a long time. Your mom encouraged that, didn't she? She got you a permit to actually start performing about what, age 12?
Yeah, I started playing in bars at 12.
And of course, you never imbibed at all, right?
No, actually, no, man.
You're a good boy?
I was a square.
That's not what I hear too much about the Denver public school system. So
no, they hated me,
man. Yeah. You were semi-permanent resident of the truancy court there for a while, weren't you?
I was buddies with all those people, man.
Yeah, that was about 7th grade. So
yeah.
You ran in some rough streets there in Denver, apparently, originally.
Yeah, man. It was a, looking back, I was just a kid who processed things differently. Mm-hmm. So when I was in elementary school, when I was in 3rd grade, I was in like a catch-up class for reading. Like I couldn't recognize the word "the." It was that bad.
Were you dyslexic?
No. I didn't connect the way they were teaching. But in 4th grade, thank God, I saw this movie called Reservoir Dogs with Quentin Tarantino. And I fell in love with it, man. I memorized the dialogue word for word. And so in 4th grade, I bought the screenplay to Reservoir Dogs. And I would take it into school for reading hour. And I'd have to hide it because the cover is like Mr. Orange guy is covered in blood on the floor.
Yeah, the teachers would probably question
so
that.
I had to hide it. But since I had memorized the script from watching it so many times, I was able to read the script and I was able to match the words. And so by the time I was in middle school, I was reading at a college level. And so I just process things differently. And another thing is, I started playing live at 12, and the bad thing is somebody started giving me money. And I was just like, what do you mean school, man? Yeah. I got cash in my pocket and I can read. What else do I need, man?
Yeah. So I found it interesting. You didn't get into the harp because of a song or music you heard. You got into the harp because you went into a bookstore with your brother and saw a book about harmonica players and the history of harmonicas.
Yeah, so it was around, the older music was around, because my family is big music lovers. And my oldest brother plays in a metal band. He's a drummer. And so I knew that if I wanted to choose an instrument, I could. And I saw this book, How to Play Harmonica. And inside the book, there was all these photos of like Big Mama Thornton and Stevie Wonder. And particularly, there was this photo of Howlin' Wolf. And he was like sweating with Buddy Holly glasses. You know,
Big guy.
Big dude with a harmonica in his hand, and it scared me, but it thrilled me. And before I even heard Howlin' Wolf, I was like, that's it. Whatever that is, I'm gonna do that. And so that I begged my dad, and he bought the book, and I think because it fits in the pocket, I was able to like really latch onto it, as opposed to like a piano or a guitar.
And you'd say that those were your major influences then? I know you like Mavis Staples and a lot of the soul and stuff.
Totally, yeah. Early on, I wanted to be, when I was like 12 and 13, I wanted to be Jimmy Reed or Mississippi John Hurt. Yeah, that was my thing. And
did that work out?
I'm getting there, man. But now it's like, if I could be like Jonathan Richman and Mavis Staples
combined.
Yeah, that would be my gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of Jonathan Richman, you went out to see him in San Francisco, was it?
It was Big Sur. I hitchhiked. I flew in, and then it's like a Kerouac thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know?
Yeah.
And I got
with your harmonica.
Exactly, yeah. And I went and hitchhiked to Big Sur and saw him at the Henry Miller Library. That's like the most hipster thing to say. I went and saw Jonathan Richman at the Henry Miller Library, and I hitchhiked. And I had a John Fonte book in my backpack, and I had him sign it.
Is that how you got hooked up with Rick Astron and the Nightcats?
No, they would come. When I was 13, they would come through town, and they just kind of adopted me.
In Denver?
Yeah. And I would like skip school and get in the band van and go see movies with them. And only
they
thing Rick ever
that truancy, huh?
Oh man, I was like 13, be like, yeah man, I just read this Bukowski book, and Astron turns around and he goes, you're reading Bukowski? I'm like, yeah, and he's like, cool.
And then somehow you worked your way in with Kid Anderson and
so he was
Village
in the band.
Records in California.
Yeah. So I moved to San Jose the first week of March 2020. There's this thing called COVID. Check it out. Look it up. And it shut the whole scene down, and I had to help Kid with like a
recording session.
Sessions, and the only recording session we did before the lockdown was Elvin Bishop and Charlie Musselwhite. They did an album called 100 Years of Blues, and I was like, I made it, man. And then it was like, bye, Elvin, bye, Charlie. And then it was just like, the airlines are closed. And I was like, oh, no. And so, but through that time, I met Jim Pugh and Little Village Foundation, and those are the people that put out my records. And I've done a kids record with them, and this new one called Everybody's Buddy. And it was produced by this guy named Charlie Hunter, who's this really killer jazz guitar player. And everything's coming up roses.
Well, what are you going to play for us?
I actually was going to do one song, but then I realized that if Jim Pugh of Little Village found out that I didn't play 2 songs off the record, that I would probably not be able to make a third one with them.
Oh, okay.
And it's an expensive thing. So I'm going to do a song called Laughing at the Rain. That's off the record. And it goes like this. At a loss for words, but I guess there's not that much to say. And it's moments like this that make my bad thoughts just drift away. I may be living on borrowed time, giving up my place in line, but the sun is out out today, so I'm laughing at the rain. I search for something, I always end up with something else. And I can't help but smile at all the ways I lose myself. I make it up as I go along, take my time searching for a song. And the sun is out today, so I'm laughing at the rain. This day's gone by without a single care. All my sorrow seems to have disappeared. Days gone by without a single care. And all my sorrow seems to have disappeared. I keep it simple, moving like a feather in the wind. And I can't even recall where half of my memories begin. Maybe living on borrowed time, giving up my place in line. But the sun is out today, so I'm laughing at the rain. Thanks.
Hey. How long have you been playing guitar?
I'm 28. 10 years. Well, I started earlier, but all I did for years was not much has changed. Yeah, I'm getting there. I can hold it steady every now and then. So that was off the record. This one is the title track off the record. It's called Everybody's Buddy. And it's kind of like my theme song. And it has a Colorado thing to it. There's these two songwriters. One is named Ray Bonneville, and he lived in Colorado for a while. He has this song called Blonde of Mine that I was like, I gotta rip him off. I gotta take that song. So
I'm telling.
Yeah. I played it in front of him, and I was like, oh no. Because he's kind of a quiet guy. I was like, he's gonna, may not like it.
we were playing a show in Fort Collins, Ray and I, and Nick showed up, and I was like, Nick, you got to sit in with us. And he goes up to Ray and he says, Carrie says, maybe I should play some songs. And Ray says, well, do you know any of my songs? And Nick says,
I know all your songs. And it was it's a great song, and it really meant a lot to me when I first heard it when I was 15. I was like, that's it, that's what I want to do. And then there's this other songwriter who lives here in town. His name is John Snodgrass, and he has this song called Buddies. And I was like, I gotta steal that. So, and it's completely fine because I'm a folk singer. It's a tradition to steal people's songs. But since it's modern times, I thought maybe I'll be a little sneaky about it and I'll steal them both songs and make one song. And it came out like this. And I got a choir of buddies to sing it with me. This is awesome. All right, goes like this. All my friends, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends. I just can't wait to see them again. All my friends. I got buddies all around the world, friends across the street. When I see my buddies, well, it knocks me off my feet. Music sounds so good, and the food has got more taste. When I'm with my friends, it feels like everything's in its place. My homies make me laugh, even when I'm sad and blue. If I ever lost my friends, my whole world would come unglued. As life keeps you guessing, and you feel like you're losing your mind, hanging with my friends is how I'm gonna spend my time. Well, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends. I just can't wait to see them again. All my friends. Well, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends. I just can't wait to see them again. All my friends. Thanks, buddies.
Nick Clark here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. I'd like to take just a minute to remind everybody that we do have a KRFC YouTube channel called Radio Vision. And if you just go to Radio Vision, KRFC Radio Vision on YouTube, subscribe, join the club, find out who's going to be appearing that week. You'll get a little notification on your phone. Definitely helps support Colorado artists and all the national artists that come with us on Live at Lunch. We're going to close out here with a couple going back to Carrie here, Killing the Blues, and one of my favorites, Jug in the Water. And I was going to ask about Jug in the Water real quick. The lyrics on it are kind of interesting, and singing about a high all the time, and you think I'm high all the time, and in the courthouse, and fishing, and I've always wanted to ask you, what's all that about?
Well, it's been a long time since I wrote that song, but it was it came from a lot of the line fishing, you know.
Like using a jug and setting a line? And
yeah, I used to see that sometimes at home. Definitely saw it every time we go out to Louisiana. And
catfishing.
Yeah. Or they're marking pots. Yeah. So...
crawfish.
But, you know, a lot of that stuff ain't for sale. It's feeding a family somewhere, so...
What's about the courthouse?
Yeah. The thing about the courthouse and that, I got out of listening to the Mississippi prison songs from...
Chain Gang stuff?
Yeah. From the Lomax stuff. It's amazing, isn't it? You can find it online. The Lomax, Mississippi prison songs, I think it's called. And I lifted that line directly out of that for a reason, because a lot of times when you live in a place where maybe you're a minority, sometimes people look at you differently. I don't know. James is over there like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
And
so that was just like, oh yeah, I see you guys standing around the courthouse. Just assume that I'm hot.
Yeah, well, and
I am, but...
And of course, that's your second one, the Killing the Blues here. That you don't do a lot of covers in your career. I mean, I think I can think of like a Steely Dan song you did on one of your albums. But other than that, what made you do Killing the Blues?
Well, this is a song that I heard when I was a child. I played in a sort of it was a pop band, what we considered to be pop. We were playing like Jackson Browne songs, and I mean, for Montana, it was pretty progressive, you know. And but I heard this song on a record called "Songs from Mud Acres," and it was recorded in Woodstock, New York, in the late '60s by a fella, guitar player named Happy Traum, and all of his buddies hanging out in a studio, just trading songs. That's the first time I heard this song. Later, I thought that it was written by, who did we think wrote it?
Well, it was made really popular by John Prine.
Oh, yeah.
But he did not write it.
Yeah. You remember the guy's name?
Roland Sally.
Yeah.
Real popular name.
And the way that it fits into the album, the current album, is... Charlie and his wife, deeply, deeply in love. She took over his career, and she's actually the one that got his work out there. She made sure that all the big events in the U.S., if they would feature his paintings, they did. And that's when his career really started to take off. And then long about 1903, Charlie had a pretty important surgery that almost killed him. And from that, he decided that he had to stop drinking. And Charlie loved to drink. And he just gave it up. But all of those times before that, he would, in their house is downtown Great Falls, he'd hang out and paint until the sun didn't come into his studio anymore. And he'd go, well, I guess that's it for today. And he'd saddle up his horse and go downtown. And his wife, as he's trotting off, she would always go, Charlie, 2.
So he made sure they were big.
Yeah, right. So I think that created tension in their world. So that's why I included this song. It was for their undying love that was tested from time to time. And I love this song. I think it's just the most beautiful song ever. love to do it in tune, so it sounds even better.
Leaves were falling just like embers, in colors red and gold. They set us on fire, burning just like a moonbeam in our eyes. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues. I'm guilty of some things I hope you never do, because there is nothing sadder than losing yourself in love. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues. Now you ask me just to leave you, to go out on my own and get what I need to. You want me to find what I already have. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues. Somebody said they saw me swinging the world by the tail, bouncing over a white cloud, killing the blues.
Thank you.
That song always makes me cry.
Aw. I just wanted to say something about Nick. Nick picked the final song because he said he really liked it. I saw Nick playing at Oscar Blues in Longmont. I think it was an open mic night, and he was 14. That was the first time I saw Nick, yeah. And I just want to say he is one of my favorite musicians and one of my very favorite human beings. And we are absolutely honored that he appears on this new album.
Thanks for having me on.
We love you, Nick.
And I want to thank everybody that came here today, too, of course, Carrie Morin and Celeste Diorio. I always want to say Diorio Morin, but it's Diorio. And Nate Riley and, of course, Nick Clark. Thanks, guys. You can lead us out with Jug in the Water. Huh?
What?
See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water over yonder. I feed my people just like my father. I feed my people just like my old man. Sun gonna set, sun gonna rise. Another day gonna come and go. One day people understand my song. Understand my song. I don't get it, don't see me. Ooh, good Lord, I see him. Yeah, yeah. Don't get it, don't see me. I see him. Sun gonna set, sun gonna rise. Another day gonna come and gone. One day people understand my song. Understand my song. I see y'all standing around the courthouse. I bet you all think I'm high. Yeah. I see y'all standing around the courthouse. Oh, I bet you all think I'm high. Sun gonna set, the sun gonna rise. Another day gonna come and gone. One day people understand my song. Understand my song. I'm waiting on you to prove me wrong. I'm waiting on you to prove me wrong. sun gonna rise. Another day gonna come and gone. One day people understand my song. Understand my song. See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water.
That's it. Thanks, guys. Thank you. A wonderful show.
See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water. See that jug in the water.
Thank you for listening to Live at Lunch, and thank you to the Music District here in the heart of Fort Collins, Colorado. Live at Lunch is produced by KRFC 88.9 FM in the Ginger and Baker studio. If you'd like to appear on Live at Lunch, email our music director, David Vosick, at david@krfcfm.org.